13.6 day 1, focusing on the law of cosines. We're going to use the law of cosines to find side lengths and angle measures, along with Heron's formula to find the area of triangles. Don't need to write these objectives down. Here's our formula in the green here. When you use the law of cosines is when you have a side, side, side given triangle or a side, angle, side triangle. So go ahead and write when you use the law of sines, law of cosines is for side, side, side or side, angle, side. And just like the law of sines, it's able to find missing side lengths or angle measures. So go ahead and write down this formula, the law of cosines, to find a side or an angle. You take the square root of b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of a. All right, here's our first example. We want to find the missing length of A. So we're given side C, side B, and angle A. And we substitute those three pieces into the law of cosines formula. So we say A equals the square root of b squared, which is 5, so 5 squared, c squared, so that's 7 squared, minus 2bc, and then cosine of a, and a is 45 degrees. Then we're going to go ahead and simplify this radical. So 5 times 5 is 25. 7 times 7 is 49. And then 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 7 is 70. So we have a negative 70. And then the cosine of 45 degrees. Then we combine the 25 and the 49, and we get 74. Now we can go ahead and evaluate that trig function. So we say the cosine of 45 degrees is 0.707. Now let's multiply it by 70. And now subtract that from 74. So 74 minus 49.49 is approximately 24.51. And then square root that number. So the length of A is approximately 4.95 units. Here's another example. I've just changed the letters for us a little bit. And we want to find the side length of Q. So you don't need to rely on the letters A, B, and C. Just be careful on what you substitute in. So to find the letter Q, you're going to square the two sides. So 8 squared plus 6 squared. Then you minus 2 times multiplying those two sides, 8 and 6. And then the cosine of Q, which is 80 degrees. And then we simplify that square root. So 8 times 8, 64. 6 times 6, which is 36. 8 times 2 times 6 is 96. And then 64 plus 36 is 100. And then I'm going to take 96 times the cosine of 80 degrees is 16.67. Subtract that from 100. And you get the square root of 83.33, square root 83.33, and you get the side to be approximately 9.12 for Q. Our next example is now to find a missing angle for R. So this is our missing R. And the side is R. So this is going to be our P, and this is going to be our Q. So if you're comfortable with A, B, and C, that's fine. If you're not, then rewrite this. If we're working with angle R, then it's going to be the cosine of R, and then our side length R, and then our two other letters that we're working with are P and Q. So P squared plus Q squared minus 2PQ, and then cosine of R. And now let's substitute those numbers in. Well, R, let's change colors here. R is 6, so 6 equals P, which is 3, so 3 squared, plus Q squared minus 2 times PQ, so 2 times 3 times 7, times the cosine of R, and R is our unknown still. Now we're going to go ahead and solve this for the cosine of R, so we have some simplifying to do in this radical. So 3 times 3 is 9. 7 times 7 is 49. 2 times 3 times 7 is 42. Cosine of R. Then we'll combine like terms underneath that radical. 9 plus 49 is 58. Minus 42, cosine of R. Now, the next step is to try to focus on how can I get cosine of R by itself. So we're going to undo that square root. So we're going to square both sides. So what we're left with on the left then is 6 times 6, which is 36. And on the right, that square root and the squared cancel out. So we just left with 58 minus 42 cosine of R. Now we'll continue by undoing that 58. So we'll subtract 58 from both sides. So then 36 minus 58 is negative 22. And then on the right side is still the same. Now we want to divide both sides by negative 42. So negative 22 divided by negative 42 equals the cosine of R. Now let's just simplify that fraction on the right, or on the left, and we get 0.5238 equals the cosine of R. Now we need to use inverse trig. R equals the cosine inverse of this decimal place, 0.5238. So second cosine of 0.5238 will give us our angle measure. Our angle for R is 58.4 degrees. So that's how you can use the law of cosines to find an angle measure. A little bit more work than the law of cosines just to find a side length. We'll do the next set of video on the Huron's formula.